Now last week I made a video breaking down what I thought was probably going to be the worst Marvel set of 2025. And then LEGO decided to one-up me straight away by revealing this, another Endgame Final Battle set. Boy, we have a lot to talk about. Now, I want to be fair right off the bat. There are definitely some positives with this set. I can kind of see what the LEGO designers were going for. If you've been collecting Marvel sets over the past year or two, you'll probably know this fits right in with the Age of Ultron set and the Civil War airport that we saw from last year. It's got the same black plate border, so if you're into building a whole MCU moments display, this will fit right in with that. Another good thing is you get a solid collection of Avengers plus a big fig Thanos. That's a win in my opinion. But that's really where the positives kinda end. Let's talk about the minifigures for a minute, because on the surface you're getting a great lineup of figs, but the more you look into it, you can see the cracks starting to show. A good chunk of this lineup is straight up reuses from other sets. Now I don't mind a couple of reuses, it's not like I want to buy every single set in the wave to try and get all of the figures, but when there's this many, I do feel like LEGO's kinda taking the mick. You got things like the Iron Man Mark 85 that was reused in the Iron Man Armory set. Then you have things like Wanda that has been reused multiple times in the old Endgame Final Battle set, the Avengers Tower, and this version of Wanda doesn't even seem to come with the waist cape that we saw in the previous version of this set, so unfortunately it does mean that she's just a straight up downgrade. Black Panther looks to be the same figure we saw in the Civil War set, so if you've already got that one, it's going to be a match, and Falcon seems to be the same one that was in the Avengers Tower. And oh yeah, that big fig Thanos? I think it is cool to be getting a big fig, but I do think it's the same one we saw in the previous Endgame Final Battle set. But here's arguably where it gets even worse for me. Figures like Captain America and Doctor Strange are not only reuses, but they're in the completely wrong suit. Doctor Strange is using the same Multiverse of Madness suit that we've seen across multiple sets, and the Captain America seems to be the one from Age of Ultron. Now there is a reason that LEGO do this. It's basically just down to the fact that these figures are in production, and these ones aren't. And yes, I suppose getting the wrong suit is better than not getting the characters at all, but it is really annoying when LEGO have made these older suits in the past and just don't want to or can't afford to put those original suits back in production. Now there are 2 exclusive figures in this set, but unfortunately even those exclusive figures come with a massive asterisk. Let's start with Iron Spider. Surprisingly, there has only been one other time they have made this Iron Spider suit. It was back in 2018 or so when they released the Sanctum Sanctorum set for what I believe was originally the Infinity War wave. And although I think it was a great set at the time, I don't actually think that many people bought it. Mainly because this Iron Spider figure skyrocketed on the aftermarket. And once that set was gone, the only way to get that suit was through the aftermarket. So a lot of people have been asking for LEGO to remake this suit, especially because this suit has been prevalent in other movies such as Endgame and Spider-Man No Way Home. Prime opportunities for LEGO to remake this suit. And now they finally have. The only problem is they've completely butchered it. The main issues is that Spider-Man and Iron Man have usually been the only Marvel figures to get things like arm and leg printing. I've said it multiple times in previous videos, but it does seem that LEGO recently have been taking that privilege away from Spider-Man figures. We didn't see any arm printing in the recent Spider-Man No Way Home set, and now it seems to be that history is repeating itself because the new Iron Spider does not have arm or leg printing, which is a massive downgrade from the previous figure that did have printing on the arms and the legs. And now people are kind of in this situation where you could easily take the arms off of the old figure and put them on the new one, but when it comes to the legs it's a different story. A lot of people were asking for a remake of this figure, even the people that owned the original one, because it was kind of before the time that dual molded legs came in just standard sets, meaning that the original Iron Spider suit never really got that treatment of dual molded legs and having the prints. And one thing that people were asking for if they were to remake it is to give it the dual mold, but also give it the print. Now you kind of have the situation where you can either choose between having the print or having the dual molded legs. LEGO just can't seem to get this one right, and I don't really understand why. And unfortunately, it's kind of the same problem with Ant-Man. Many people have been asking for a regular sized Ant-Man for a long time now. Most of the time when we get Ant-Man in a set, it will either be the micro Ant-Man figures, or it will be some buildable character that we've had either before or some variation of. And one of the main reasons that people were asking for another Ant-Man figure was because LEGO kind of got it really wrong before. They used concept art helmets for the previous 2 Ant-Man films, and then when we did get that Ant-Man helmet that looked really good, he was in a quantum suit. So we've been waiting for 5+ years to get an Ant-Man suit with the nice helmet. And when LEGO does give that to us, they take away the leg printing. If both exclusive figures had at least got that kind of love and had the arm and leg prints, I could maybe forgive this set for being an $100 set. But as it stands right now, it feels like everything in this set is just a massive downgrade. And that's the thing, we haven't even really spoke about the build itself. Like, for starters, where is it? I understand that even in this set, which is opposite of that set I was talking about last week, where there's a massive base, it's just a bunch of flat plates and slopes. I know it's kind of what I was asking for last week, but again, I think the execution is all wrong here. This is why I have never really wanted to do an endgame final battle mock, because unfortunately the endgame final battle is just a bunch of minifigures on a flat piece of ground. It's not that this build isn't necessarily accurate, it's just that there's not a lot here going on. And I think this is the problem with the endgame final battle. There's just not necessarily enough there to make it an interesting set. Arguably, I think they actually did really well on the set last year that came out, with a massive structure of Avengers Tower in more of a diorama style set. And the worst part is, it's not even really a budget issue, because they clearly had extra pieces, because they built an Ant-Man mech. I don't really understand why, but that's 2 sets now that have included what I would argue to be an unnecessary mech, instead of using that piece count to build the actual set. I know they're trying to do the whole, oh, but he is Giant Man and we still get to include the minifigure, but this build is so unnecessary if you ask me. And I really would have loved to see this piece count go into something else on the build to make this more interesting. This isn't Giant Man, it's just Ant-Man in a mech suit, and if you're into that, sure, but when you're going for a diorama style build, and we had a Giant Man in the previous diorama build, I think this is not only lazy, but arguably a waste of potential. This set could have been the perfect set to add on to that set we saw from last year, giving us the Avengers we didn't even really get, like Rescue, Iron Patriot Mark II, the Iron Spider, Hawkeye. Instead we got a half-baked display with zero effort put into the minifigures and the build. I genuinely think the Marvel theme could be so good with a few very small changes. Imagine a wave of MCU-based sets that combine, like the Harry Potter modulars, or dioramas that actually felt like display pieces and not this weird in-between between display and play. And it's not like there isn't a market for this. Marvel is still one of the largest franchises in the world, even with the duds that they've been releasing over the last few years. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of this endgame final battle set? Thanks to all of the members and the patrons that make these kind of videos possible, and I'll see you over there.